Anthony Robbins says that success leaves clues. I decided to look to couples that were thriving, couples that they loved each other. I talked to people who could give me wisdom, who could teach me how to be graceful. I went to my spiritual mother, Joanne, who's been married now almost 40 years. And I said, how are you still married to John this long? What is it? And she said, Tonya, there are times when you have to be a witch. But there are other times when you have to be gracious. You, my dear, must always be gracious. Mm-hmm. So I got that from Mama Joe. Always married, always loving, a long time married. So I looked to couples to give me an agenda, a roadmap about what real love looks like. And these couples that I went to, they were married close to 20 years. They were still intimate with each other on some degree, and it changes as you grow. They were still intimate with each other. I don't care if that was holding her hands or he would touch her back. They were still intimate. And they slept in the same bed. Because I know couples, he's sleeping upstairs, she's sleeping downstairs. They call themselves married, but that's not marriage to me. So those are the people that I reached out to find the answers. How do I make this work this time? Because I'm getting married again, and it's going to be awesome. And so I did that. I also went to seminars. I read a lot of books. I'm a voracious reader. To this day, I read a book a week. All of my books were about love and romance. And they didn't necessarily, I'm a Christian woman, but they didn't necessarily have to be by Christian authors. Anybody talking to me about love and loving, I wanted the whole picture. I wanted to understand what it looked like and what I could do to make it work. So I read books. I stayed away from girlfriends who were negative. I did some other things. You ready for them?
Yeah.
You got to talk back to me. You ready for them?
Yes.
I did two major things. The first thing I did, and we're moving to do an Amazing Man boot camp in June. If you're ready, don't come if you're not ready for it. But I'll get deeper into it, and I'll talk about that more later. But I did these two things. I made a list of what I wanted in my Amazing Man, and I made a list of what I was willing to give. See, we show up a lot of times, women, with I want him to do this, and he has to be 6'10", and he has to have pecs. And he has to be rippling and smelling all good and drive a BMW and have 5 degrees and go ahead to med school, and he's going to take care of me because I'm the one. That's how we show up. And so I asked women, well, he's doing all this and he's so wonderful. What are you going to do? Here's the answer. Nothing. I'm the queen. I'm the one. I don't have to do anything. But that's not the way that it works. That's not the way love works. You show up, your reciprocal process. It's a give and take. So my list was what I was willing to give and what I wanted from him. So I made the list. The other thing I did was I didn't engage in any negative talk about men. Breathe, because I know it's going to be really hard. If you want to attract an amazing man, you have to stop talking negatively about men. All men. Anything that looks male is male. If the dog is male, stop talking about the dog. And let me just warn you, when you start and on this path and you're attracting this and really want to move to a new level, because what we've been doing hasn't been working. If you showed up and you want a man and you wanted one forever and ever, you still don't have one, probably the plan you're working is just not working. So you got to try something new. And that's where I was. I decided that I had to try something new. So what I said was, I'm not going to speak negatively about men. And let me caution you, when you make this challenge to yourself, there will be men in your life that will do stupid. Okay? It will be difficult. You're going to keep seeing Elliot Spitzer's on television. You're going to keep seeing Tiger Woods. The issue, the choice that you make now, my sisters, the choice that you make now is you say, some men make poor choices, and that's the end of the conversation. Tiger Woods made some poor choices. We're not going to engage in the drama parties with the girlfriends. Remember I told you about the drama parties, right? And we sit there, oh, this is what he did to me. I can't believe he did that to me. Oh, God, oh, God. And we sit there, oh, girl, it'll be okay. Don't worry, you'll be all right. Oh, he's such a dog. He's so trifling. You excuse yourselves from those conversations because all the women are sitting there crying and just carrying on, and everybody just sitting there waiting to exhale. Terrible. Stop those conversations. When you decide that you are no longer, and this is what you're going to do. When the thought comes up, my brother's in jail again, and he's just so ridiculous. I can't believe mom is giving him all this money, and all these things that come up, because they will come up. What you're going to do is cancel those thoughts out, cover them up. But my brother is a fabulous dresser. If you fall into talking negatively about the man, whoever it is, brother, cousin, uncle, father, son, you're going to cover it up and remind yourself how wonderful and how amazing he really is, who he really is, not what he's going through. So no negative talk about men. I want to give you a third one, actually, because it's very, very important. This is the third thing I did. The third thing I did, and there are many more, but again, that's for, we don't have the time now for me to go into all of them. But the third thing I did, I know you don't have this problem, but I did. And I'm in the front, so I got to tell the truth. I had to clean up my bedroom. Breathe for me, because I know it's looking like a war zone. Clean up the bedroom. Your bedroom, my ex-husband reminded me of this. It's the place where love is made, and it's the heart of your home. And if your bedroom looks like a war zone, if the man did show up and he needs to move into your space, you get married and he moves into the space, you have absolutely no place to put him. I'll breathe for you. Because you got all this stuff under the bed and in the closet, and shoes and broken down equipment and just old stuff and books. And am I right about it, somebody? Clean up the bedroom. Clean it up and make room for the new that's coming. Here's another thing I did, and then I'll tell you a story about my husband and I, how we met, and I'll wrap up. I knew that from the couples that I talked to, from these amazing couples that I always talk to, I knew that men love to be celebrated. The men who are in the room, am I right about that?
Yes.
Yes. Men love to be celebrated. Interestingly enough, I love to be celebrated too. So what I did when I was single, I set the stage for being married. And I would always come home and I would play the song, Celebrate Good Times. Come on! Coming through the door, I would just rejoice. I made coming home an event. I did that when I was single, so I was able to do it when I became married. So now what my husband and I do, and some of you in here are getting married very soon out there. So what I want you to do is begin to celebrate yourself now so that when you are married, it'll be easier to do. So now, and because I have my daughter who just loves stuff like this, when daddy comes home, daddy is a rock star. You got to get this. Daddy is a rock star. It's like, daddy's we make noise, we shout. It is a joyous event. You know why I do that? Because I want my husband to know that I don't care what you see out there. I don't need you to go snacking when you got filet mignon at home. I need you to know and understand, my love, that home is the safest place you can be.